One of the strangest feelings in life is realizing that nothing is technically wrong, but everything feels different. The same places are still there, the same people are still around, the same routines still exist, the same life you once prayed for, worked for, or fought to keep is still standing in front of you. But something inside you no longer belongs to it. You cannot explain it clearly. You cannot always prove it. You cannot point to one single moment and say, "This is when everything changed." But you feel it. Your body feels it. Your silence feels it. Your energy feels it. Your soul feels it before your mind knows how to understand it. And that is one of the first strange signs that your old life is no longer meant for you. It does not always begin with a dramatic ending. It begins with a quiet disconnection. You sit in rooms you used to feel comfortable in, and suddenly they feel too small. You talk to people you used to feel close to, and suddenly the conversation feels empty. You repeat routines that used to make sense, and suddenly they feel heavy. You look at your own life and think, "Why does this not feel like me anymore?" That question can scare you, because nothing may have collapsed yet. No one may have left. No door may have closed. No obvious disaster may have happened. But something deeper is shifting. Something inside you is quietly withdrawing from the life that used to hold you. And when your soul begins to outgrow a life, it rarely sends one loud sign. It sends small, strange ones. You lose excitement for things you once wanted. You stop reacting to things that used to control you. You feel tired around people you used to chase. You start craving silence more than attention. You begin to feel uncomfortable in places where you used to feel accepted. You no longer want the same validation. You no longer care about the same conversations. You no longer feel proud of fitting into a life that requires you to disappear from yourself. And at first, you may think something is wrong with you. You may think you are becoming ungrateful, too sensitive, too distant, too difficult, too hard to satisfy. You may wonder why you cannot just enjoy what you have, why you cannot go back to the old rhythm, why you cannot force yourself to feel the way you used to feel. But maybe nothing is wrong with you. Maybe your old life is simply no longer aligned with who you are becoming. That is painful to admit, because old lives are not always terrible. Sometimes they are familiar. Sometimes they are comfortable. Sometimes they are filled with people you still care about. Sometimes they are built from dreams you once believed in. Sometimes they contain memories that still matter. And that is what makes leaving them so confusing. If something is obviously toxic, the mind understands why you need to go. But when something is familiar, when something once made sense, when something once felt like home, it becomes harder to accept that it may no longer be meant for you. You begin to question yourself. Maybe I am just tired. Maybe I am just overthinking. Maybe I am just in a strange mood. Maybe this feeling will pass. Maybe I should be grateful. Maybe I should stay. But deep down, something keeps whispering, "This is not it anymore." And the whisper does not always come with anger. Sometimes it comes with sadness. Sometimes it comes with boredom. Sometimes it comes with exhaustion. Sometimes it comes with a strange kind of peace when you imagine walking away. That peace is important, because one strange sign that your old life is no longer meant for you is that the thought of leaving no longer feels impossible. It may still feel scary. It may still feel uncertain. It may still make you question everything. But somewhere beneath the fear, there is relief. Relief at the idea of not pretending anymore. Relief at the idea of not forcing yourself to fit. Relief at the idea of not explaining why your soul feels tired. Relief at the idea of becoming someone you do not have to hide. That relief is not random. It is your inner self showing you the truth your outer life keeps trying to deny. Because sometimes we do not stay because we are happy. We stay because we are used to the pain. We stay because we know the rules. We stay because people expect us to remain the same. We stay because leaving would disappoint someone. We stay because the unknown feels more frightening than a familiar emptiness. But eventually, your soul grows tired of surviving inside the familiar. It begins to crave truth more than comfort. It begins to crave peace more than approval. It begins to crave alignment more than belonging. And when that happens, your old life begins to feel like clothing that no longer fits. Nothing is visibly broken, but everything feels tight. You can still wear it. You can still move in it. You can still convince people it looks fine. But you know it is not yours anymore. You know you are not breathing freely there. You know some part of you has outgrown the shape of it. Another strange sign is that you begin to feel emotionally tired by things that used to energize you. The people you used to run toward now make you want to rest afterward. The conversations that used to entertain you now feel repetitive. The plans you used to say yes to now feel like obligations. The attention you used to enjoy now feels noisy. The approval you used to crave now feels strangely empty. And you may not understand why, because on the surface these things have not changed. But you have. Your energy has changed. Your values have changed. Your nervous system has changed. Your tolerance has changed. Your soul has changed. And when you change, the same life can suddenly feel like a stranger. This is why people often feel guilty during transformation. They think losing interest means betrayal. They think needing distance means they are cruel. They think no longer fitting in means they have become arrogant. But outgrowing is not betrayal. Growth will always disturb the version of life that depended on you staying the same. And if your old life only works when you are smaller, quieter, more available, more confused, more afraid, or more disconnected from yourself, then losing interest in that life is not a problem. It is protection. It is your inner self refusing to keep paying the price. Because every old life has a cost. The cost of pretending, the cost of staying quiet, the cost of ignoring your intuition, the cost of forcing connection, the cost of being loved only as long as you remain convenient, the cost of waking up every day inside a life that looks normal but feels distant from your soul. And at some point, your body begins to reject that cost. You may feel restless for no clear reason. You may feel heavy in places that once felt safe. You may feel an ache for something you cannot name. You may find yourself wanting to disappear, not from life, but from the version of life that keeps asking you to be who you are no longer. You may feel like you are waiting for something, but you do not know what. A sign, a shift, a door, a reason, a moment that gives you permission to change. But sometimes the permission never comes from outside you. Sometimes the permission is the discomfort itself. Sometimes the fact that you no longer feel alive where you are is already enough information. Sometimes the absence of peace is the message. Sometimes the heaviness is the sign. Sometimes the strange sadness you feel in your own life is not weakness. It is your soul grieving a place it has already begun to leave. And this is where the transformation becomes difficult. Because leaving an old life does not always mean physically leaving immediately. Sometimes it begins internally. You stop believing the same stories. You stop needing the same approval. You stop reacting to the same triggers. You stop feeling responsible for the same expectations. You stop wanting the same future. And before anything changes outside, everything changes inside. That is why it can feel so lonely. People around you may still think you are the same person. They may speak to the old version of you. They may expect the old reactions. They may assume you still want the same things. They may keep inviting you into the same patterns. But something in you no longer answers. You are there, but not fully. Present, but distant. Kind, but detached. Listening, but not absorbed. Still loving some people, but no longer willing to lose yourself to remain close to them. And people can feel that. They may not understand it, but they feel it. They feel when your energy no longer bends the same way. They feel when your yes is no longer automatic. They feel when your silence is no longer fear. They feel when your presence is no longer available for the same old roles. And this may make them uncomfortable, because your old life did not only contain places and routines, it contained identities. The helper, the over-explainer, the one who always understands, the one who always comes back, the one who keeps peace, the one who says yes, the one who makes everyone else comfortable, the one who stays even when her soul is tired. And when you begin to outgrow your old life, you begin to outgrow the role you played inside it. That is when people may say, you changed. But what they often mean is, you are no longer playing the part I was comfortable with. And maybe they are right. You have changed. You are no longer as easy to guilt, no longer as easy to pull back, no longer as easy to distract from your own truth, no longer as willing to pretend that being needed is the same as being loved, no longer as willing to confuse familiarity with destiny, no longer as willing to call survival a life. And this is one of the clearest signs that your old life is no longer meant for you. You can no longer be the person that life requires. Not without betraying yourself. Not without shrinking. Not without feeling the quiet pain of abandoning your own growth. And once you realize that, the old life begins to lose its power. It may still hold memories. It may still hold comfort. It may still hold people you care about. But it no longer holds your future. And that realization can break your heart. Because sometimes the hardest thing to leave is not what hurt you. It is what used to feel like home before you became someone new. You may mourn the old version of yourself, the one who fit there, the one who wanted those things, the one who felt safe inside that life, the one who did not question everything, the one who could laugh without feeling the distance, the one who could belong without feeling false. But you cannot force yourself back into unconsciousness just because awareness is lonely. You cannot return to a life your soul has already outgrown and expect to feel alive there. You cannot keep choosing the old path just because the new one has not fully appeared yet. And maybe that is the strangest part. Your old life no longer fits, but your new life has not fully formed. So you stand in the middle, between who you were and who you are becoming, between familiar emptiness and unknown truth, between the comfort of the past and the calling of something you cannot yet see. And that middle place can feel terrifying, but it is not a sign that you are lost. It is a sign that you are being moved, not punished, not abandoned, not left behind. Moved out of the version of life that could no longer hold your truth. Moved away from the rooms where your soul had to stay quiet. Moved out of the patterns that kept calling themselves comfort while slowly draining your spirit. Moved away from the version of you that knew how to survive, but not how to live. And that movement may not feel beautiful at first. It may feel confusing. It may feel lonely. It may feel like losing direction. It may feel like standing in the middle of a life you no longer recognize, while not yet knowing where you are supposed to go next. But sometimes, the next life does not reveal itself until you become honest enough to release the old one. Sometimes, the new path stays hidden until you stop clinging to the familiar road. Sometimes, clarity does not arrive before the ending. Sometimes, clarity arrives because of the ending. And this is what most people do not understand. Your old life may not leave all at once. It may leave in pieces. First, the old conversations stop feeding you. Then the old places stop feeling like home. Then the old dreams stop exciting you. Then the old people stop understanding you. Then the old version of yourself becomes harder and harder to perform. And one day, you realize you are no longer sad because life is changing. You are sad because part of you already knows it cannot stay the same. That sadness is not weakness. It is recognition. It is the part of you that knows something is ending before the outside world can see it. It is the grief of outgrowing a life you once needed. A life that may have protected you. A life that may have shaped you. A life that may have taught you what you were strong enough to survive. But not every life that shaped you is meant to keep you. Not every place that protected you is meant to become your future. Not every person who knew the old you is meant to understand the new one. And accepting that can feel painful. Because growth does not always feel like expansion at first. Sometimes growth feels like distance. Distance from people you once thought would always be there. Distance from dreams you once thought defined you. Distance from places you once thought you belonged. Distance from the identity you built because you did not know you were allowed to become anything else. But that distance is not always loss. Sometimes distance is perspective. Sometimes you have to step away from a life to see how much it was costing you. Sometimes you have to become quiet to hear how tired you were. Sometimes you have to lose interest in what once entertained you to realize it was only distracting you. Sometimes you have to feel alone to understand that being surrounded was not the same as being seen. And that is when the signs begin to make sense. The heaviness, the boredom, the strange sadness, the desire for silence, the feeling that you are watching your own life from far away, the sudden need to clean, delete, leave, change, simplify, disappear, or begin again. The way your body starts rejecting places your mind keeps defending. The way your heart becomes restless around people who once felt familiar. The way peace starts feeling more important than being understood. These are not random signs. They are messages from the part of you that is no longer willing to live disconnected from itself. They are the quiet language of transformation. And if you ignore them for too long, they often grow louder. What begins as discomfort becomes exhaustion. What begins as boredom becomes resentment. What begins as restlessness becomes a deep need to escape. What begins as a small inner whisper becomes a voice you can no longer silence. Because the soul will not let you sleep forever inside a life that no longer belongs to you. It will disturb you. It will make the familiar feel strange. It will make the comfortable feel tight. It will make the old dreams feel empty. It will make the old roles feel impossible. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it wants to wake you. It wants you to stop confusing survival with alignment. It wants you to stop choosing what is known over what is true. It wants you to stop staying loyal to the version of yourself that was created by fear. And maybe that is the real reason your old life starts to feel so strange. It is not because everything around you suddenly changed. It is because you finally did. You are seeing with new eyes, feeling with new honesty, listening with a deeper part of yourself. And when that happens, the same life can no longer feel the same. The same conversations cannot satisfy you. The same patterns cannot hold you. The same distractions cannot numb you. The same people cannot define you. The same future cannot call you. because you are no longer the person who once needed that life. You are becoming someone who needs truth more than approval, peace more than familiarity, alignment more than attachment, freedom more than comfort. And when that becomes real, you will begin to make decisions that your old self would not understand. You will leave conversations without guilt. You will stop chasing explanations. You will stop trying to revive what already feels dead. You will stop forcing yourself to stay excited about what no longer moves your heart. You will stop calling your discomfort a problem and start seeing it as guidance. You will stop asking, "Why can I not go back?" And you will begin asking, "What is this trying to lead me toward?" That question changes everything, because when you stop seeing the ending as punishment, you begin to see it as preparation. You begin to understand that life is not taking everything away from you. It is removing what no longer matches the person you are becoming. It is clearing space. It is making room. It is pulling you out of places where your soul had to bend too much. It is teaching you that what feels like loss may actually be protection. And slowly, you stop begging the old life to feel right again. You stop forcing your heart to stay where it has already left. You stop trying to become your past self just because people were more comfortable with her. You stop apologizing for changing. You stop explaining why the old noise no longer excites you. You stop feeling guilty for needing a different kind of life. And that is where freedom begins. Not when everything is clear. Not when you know every next step. Not when everyone understands. Freedom begins when you stop betraying your own knowing just to keep the old life alive. It begins when you admit, "This is no longer for me. This no longer feels like home. This no longer feels true. This no longer brings me closer to myself." And once you admit that, you may still feel afraid. But the fear will be honest. And honest fear is better than false comfort, because false comfort keeps you asleep. Honest fear means you are standing at the edge of something real, something unknown, something that may require courage, something that may require you to disappoint people, something that may require you to stop being who you were. But it may also bring you closer to the life your soul has been quietly calling you toward. A life with less pretending, less noise, less emotional heaviness, less forced belonging, less self-abandonment. A life where peace is not something you visit for a moment, but something you build around your choices. A life where your energy is not constantly leaking into people, places, and patterns that were never meant to hold you. A life where you no longer need to disappear from yourself to remain acceptable to others. And maybe that life will begin quietly, with one no, one boundary, one honest conversation, one ending, one decision to stop forcing what no longer feels alive, one moment where you choose peace, even though your old self would have chosen familiarity. That is how new lives begin, not always with loud signs, not always with perfect certainty. Sometimes they begin when you finally stop ignoring the strange signs that have been trying to guide you all along. So if your old life feels unfamiliar, do not immediately assume you are ungrateful. If your old routines feel heavy, do not immediately assume you are lazy. If your old people feel distant, do not immediately assume you are wrong. If your old dreams feel empty, do not immediately assume you have lost your purpose. Maybe your purpose is changing shape. Maybe your soul is asking for something more honest. Maybe the life that once fit you was never meant to fit you forever. Maybe you are not losing yourself. Maybe you are finally outgrowing the life where you had to lose yourself to belong. Let the old life feel strange. Let the old noise fade. Let the old version of you rest. Let the doors close if they were only keeping you trapped in a place your spirit had already left. Because what is meant for you will not always look familiar at first. Sometimes it will feel quiet, uncertain, different, even lonely. But it will not require you to keep betraying your own truth. And that is how you will know. The life meant for you will not always be easier, but it will feel more honest. It will not always be louder, but it will feel more peaceful. It will not always be understood by everyone, but it will bring you closer to yourself. And one day, you will look back at the strange signs you once feared. The heaviness, the distance, the silence, the boredom, the restlessness, the feeling that you no longer belonged. And you will realize they were not signs that your life was falling apart. They were signs that your soul was trying to set you free, because your old life was not ending to punish you. It was ending because it had finished teaching you. It had finished shaping you. It had finished holding the version of you that could only go so far. And now, something deeper is calling. Something quieter, something truer, something that does not ask you to shrink in order to stay. So listen to the signs. Listen to the discomfort. Listen to the peace you feel when you imagine letting go. Listen to the part of you that no longer feels alive where you are. Because sometimes the strangest sign that your old life is no longer meant for you is not that everything is falling apart. It is that your soul no longer wants to keep holding it together. And when the soul lets go, life begins to move you toward what was waiting all along.